Donda 2, the sequel album to Donda, was released all the way back in February of 2022. Just kidding, it never came out. Now when I say never came out, it's more like kinda instead of never. You see, Kanye had a problem. He wanted this album to only release on this doohickey called the stem player, which, if you're unfamiliar with, costs $200. And what it does is it separates the vocals, melody, drums, and bass, kinda allowing you to play around with it, sampling, remixing, or doing whatever your heart desires.
That turns in reverse.
But the main issue was that no one in the right mind was going to drop $200 to just listen to an incomplete album. But that would only be the first hiccup in the album's rollout. You see, there was a listening party / concert that took place to show off the new material that, well, it didn't really go so well. To sum it up quickly, the show was a fucking mess. Mics were out of sync with the music. Songs were wrongly being skipped or replayed, and Kanye was just not having it, throwing his mic in frustration, but at the very least, the visuals were beautiful. Now, getting into the music itself, what is the soul and sound of Donda 2? The music itself is a mix of trap and evil noises, which is displayed to its fullest on songs like Security, Never Forgive Yourself, Love Me, and Louis Bags. You can just feel the raw energy from Kanye, the strain and rasp in his little old man voice.
I walk in the crib, no getting fresh, but naked in the kitchen cooking grits.
But it could also be from the unfinished mixing, since most, if not all, of these tracks are simply not finished. This is because we received the album at a very odd state in its development. So it is important to look at it as a demo full of different ideas rather than a finished product that's fully realized. One more thing to note is Kanye's headspace during this time. You see, he lost his fucking wife, Kim Kardashian, to Pete Davidson. That's gonna take a toll on a man. This guy was fucking losing his shit. And on top of that, he couldn't even see his kids. Now, on to the track list. True love. Right off the bat, Kanye is already in an emotional state, rapping about not being able to see his kids, and feeling like a father that's MIA, while the chorus, sung by XXXTentacion, is about the complications of love, which is very fucking obvious if you listen to the song for more than 5 seconds.
Baby, I'm free.
This song delves into the idea of being free without having a purpose, making Ye question the idea of being free. At least that's what I think. That's the impression I get from the chorus. Ye's verse is a little all over the place, but I think that was the point, since he compares himself to a homeless person in a way where he's not owned by anyone and is just on his own path. He also compares himself to Tyler Durden from Fight Club, who is a free thinker and fighter, I'm assuming. However, one thing I can confidently say about the song without sounding like a total fucking idiot is that this song kinda sucks big black fucking dick.
I still get lost in my...
Get Lost should not be its own song. Instead, it should be the ending part of Broken Road, since this isn't a song you would really listen to on your own unless you're sitting through the whole project, the whole, you know, Donda 2 experience that Kanye wants you to touch yourself to. I do like the concept of the song. It's Kanye not being able to get over Kim Kardashian and him getting lost in his own thoughts / memories of her, which is why he asks at the end of the song, quote, "Do I still cross your mind?" I think this is cool as cucumber, since there is no instrumental and it's just a distorted acapella sung by Kanye himself. Hey, good job. However, there are still a lot of lines where Kanye just kind of mumbles, so it's safe to say that the song isn't fully realized yet. I fucking love this. This one is interesting because there are two pretty different versions of Kanye's verse. One on the stem player focuses on Kanye's struggle to love himself and relying on Kim to do that job for him, you know, loving him. The second version sees him stepping in as the only one that needs to love himself and not relying on others to do that for him. One hell of a switch up. Good job. Very good job.
Keep the flowers, send 100,000.
I like this one. It's a catchy tune where Ye introduces a woman to a brand new Yeezy lifestyle, treating her to expensive luxury items, but having rules she needs to follow, like she can't, quote, bring friends around, I wouldn't fuck behind your back. Yes, Ye's vocals on these are pretty raw, but one thing I love about Kanye in these unreleased songs is that when he sings, you can sing with him and you feel like a singer, because not only do you suck at singing, but he sucks too.
No, you can't be on my mama album.
This one feels dirty, like Chris Tyson dirty. Kanye is threatening Kim by putting her security at risk. There are two lines in the song that really speak to me. Quote, "Never take the family photo off the fridge," and "No, you can't be on my mama album," which I have a few comments for later. The production is crazy minimal. I love it. Very experimental. It sounds like a bunch of old Windows PC sounds that are on a loop with a filter and made to sound like shit. But it works. I love it.
Not nice to the meanest.
Kanye, Baby Keem, and the Migos reflect on their hardships and challenges they faced to get to where they are today. This one feels like an anthem with trumpets and the chorus being, well, "We did it, kid, we did, yeah, yeah." There are a lot of versions of the song, but they all follow the same idea of a celebration. Probably one of the few songs that doesn't deal with love or heartbreak, and that you can actually crack a smile to that isn't, you know, ironic.
Who they waiting on? That's Pablo.
I have no clue what this song's about. It could be the return of Kanye's Pablo persona from The Life of Pablo, that being a mix of Pablo Escobar, Pablo Picasso, and Postal Paul. I looked at the name and I don't know how to pronounce it. But at the very least, this song is pretty fun and has a unique structure. There are leaks of Pablo where a new Ye verse is added at the end of the song, as well as Marilyn Manson dubbing over some Ye lines.
We did it. We did it, Joe. You're gonna be the next president of the United States.
This one's a little boring. Focus on the loss of Virgil Abloh, a good friend of Ye, and there's a mediocre verse from Jack Harlow. Big fucking surprise. All his verses fucking suck. Fuck you. Fuck you.
Do I look happy? Do I look happy to you?
Kanye isn't all too happy. Actually, he's starting to sound a little upset. Fun song. I actually like it. Future goes hard. Kanye mumbles.
Welcome to the sci-fi.
This is when things start to get a little This song is pretty much about divorcing Kim. I do like Sion Leon's part. I hate saying his name. And Kanye has an iconic line about Morgan Freeman. When you lay down and I gave you the semen, I swear I heard God, the voice of Morgan Freeman.
Selfish.
I don't like this one. It's about self-loss. Big fucking...
Lord, lift me up. Lift me up.
Lord Lift Me Up is about the difficulties of being a faithful Christian, but Kanye is nowhere to be seen on this track. And I also hate Vori and his stupid fucking voice. You know what? Hold on. Lord Lift Me Up is about the difficulties of being a faithful Christian.
This is the first time in a long time.
First time in a long time. Kanye and Soulja Boy make a mediocre track. So as you can see, I started rushing down a track list as I went on because the music itself started getting more sloppier and just more broken. The first half of the project actually had something to offer. It was experimental, it was cool, the track stuck out. It was a new topic that wasn't about being a fucking Christian. Well, except for the one song with Vori.
Jenny, I would literally get you killed.
Now that's all the tracks that were actually made publicly available. However, there are some tracks that did not get the okay from Kanye to be accessible to the public, but fuck it, whatever. And I'll only be discussing the ones that are actually listenable. This shit feels like Adolf Hitler's breakup theme song. Kanye raps about a woman making the biggest mistake of her life, that being leaving him. I wonder who he's talking about.
Hey miss, I'm your Mr. Miyagi.
This song is kind of mid, but like fun, but mid. Ye, Future, and Cardi are being silly guys on a drill or trap beat depending on which league you're listening to. They're just yapping. It's a fucking yap session.
I know your maintenance so high.
Maintenance is about a woman who is too much to handle, that only Kanye and Future can satisfy her needs. Really sticking to that Donda 2 name, huh? Baby. Here it is, the fan favorite. This song goes into a toxic relationship on the brink of extinction. Waking up early in the morning to your partner and the car missing. Doing God knows what. I love this fucking sample. The fucking baby, like the singing while Kanye's rapping. One problem with the song is that Kanye's rapping feels a bit choppy, like he put a bunch of different takes into one. So I feel like it's not release ready, but like it's almost there. It's like right there. It's gooning me. Wow, Jason, you got through those pretty quickly. I sure did. Okay, that's gonna be all the songs I take a look at individually. Now it's time to touch on general topics about the album, starting with the features. There are a lot of features on this project, like a fat fucking ton. More than half of the songs have features, and the quality is a little all over the place. You have the stink shit Vori and Jack Harlow's, to the Sigma Wolves Baby Keem, and I don't know, most of them are just alright. Nothing to write home about, and that's okay. That's all I had to say, really. I'm sorry. Now, the last thing to look at is the purpose of this album. What is the purpose of Donda 2? What was the purpose of Donda 2? And I'll give you a hint. It has nothing to do with Donda. It's not a tribute to her or anything like that. I believe that's the biggest flaw in this whole project. Why is this the sequel to Donda, when in reality, it's its own thing, its own idea? This is a breakup album, a dark album full of pain, envy, loss, lust, pride, self-doubt, and love. All types of love, except for that of motherly. That is what this album is, a Kim Kardashian diss record, and that's pretty friggin' cool. This is what was lost in the midst of Kanye's train of thought, a relic of the past in what could have been. This shouldn't have been called Donda 2. It should have been called something like War. But that's a story for another day. Was that hard, guys? Was that a hard closing statement? Was that a hard... Now, one thing I want to quickly say is that this album is full of fun and wacky and kind of cruel ideas. Yeah, Kanye like bitching and moaning about not being able to see his kids. being sad, being lonely, and then the next second he's like, oh, I'm splurging money on these fucking bitches, you know? Or I can take care of this bitch because blah, 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 blah. Like, yeah, it's a little wacky, and you can tell he's like fucking insane, but it's cool. It's like, it's neat, you know? It's a very minimalistic trap album that has some dark elements and some very unique and creative, you know, little pew pew in it. And I think it fucking sucks that we didn't like actually get a finished version of this album, because I think it had so much potential. This album had, I think honestly, if it was finished, it would have been like great. It would have been amazing. I think it would have been like a solid 8 out of 10. Way better than Vultures, and probably better than anything we're going to get in the next upcoming years with Kanye. That's all I gotta say.